Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move that the following address in reply to the speech of the President be agreed to. We, the Parliament of the Republic of Singapore, express our thanks to the President for the speech which he delivered on behalf of the government at the opening of the first session of this Parliament. Mr. Speaker, the President's address reminded us of the profound transitions of our time. A world in flux, both globally and at home. We see the sharpening rivalry between the United States and China and the erosion of the rules-based order that has enabled Singapore to survive so far. Increasingly, we face a divided world where aggression, coercion, and the weaponization of trade have become commonplace, while rapid technological change reshapes our societies at an unprecedented pace. Against this backdrop, the President set out 4 key challenges. Firstly, securing our country against both conventional and unconventional threats. Secondly, transforming our economy while tackling existential challenges such as climate change. Thirdly, assuring Singaporeans at every stage of life on jobs, housing, healthcare, and cost of living. And fourth, strengthening our social compact so that work is valued fairly, the vulnerable are cared for with compassion, and every Singaporean is empowered to pursue their dreams. More importantly, he reminded us that our future depends on unity, nurturing a we-first society built on trust, resilience, and shared purpose. Mr. Speaker, the President characterized this as not just transient headwinds, but rather fundamental shifts in the tide. And in times of change, 2 emotions shape our human response. One of anxiety and another one of hope. And it's through this lens that I shape my speech today. Mr. Speaker, the confluence of supply chain realignment, geopolitical conflicts, tariffs, rapid advances in AI, and the fracturing of societies due to distrust has fueled deep anxiety. The world ahead feels unpredictable and uncertain. As an MP and through my professional experience, I've had conversations with the residents of Pasir Ris Changi, Singaporeans from all walks of life, foreign professionals, investors, businesses from MNCs and SMEs to local stallholders in our pasar. In our communities, including the Malay Muslim community, 2 anxieties stand out most clearly. Firstly, on jobs and employability, about fresh graduates seeking their first role, mid-career workers striving to stay relevant, and seniors struggling to find opportunities. And secondly, on the cost of living and the cost of doing business, from rents to wages to dealing with tariffs. Let me begin with jobs and employability with a focus on fresh graduates. In conversation with fresh graduates, a common refrain is their struggle to land that first job. Many tell me that they have sent over 100 CVs without a single reply. They have tried LinkedIn, career coaches, networking events, peer support groups, yet remain unemployed. Parents too share their anxiety, contrasting today's reality with the past when jobs came more quickly. Graduates lament that companies demand experience, but without the opportunity, how can they ever gain it? Silence from employers with CVs submitted leaves them questioning whether these vacancies are real, whether they are being overlooked, or whether there are deeper structural issues in the job market. The data reflects this struggle. MOM reported on 17 September that while employment for fresh graduates soon after university rose by 4% in 2024, the rate remains at just 51.9%, leaving about 8,600 still unemployed. A joint survey by NUS, NTU, SMU, SUSS, and SUTD showed only 87.1% of graduates secured work within 6 months in 2024, down from 89.6% in 2023, continuing a declining trend since 2022. For private institution graduates, outcomes were worse, with fewer securing jobs and fewer securing full-time roles. Youth unemployment under 30 also inched up from 5.4% to 5.7%. However, this is not a simple private education institution versus autonomous university comparison. The real issue is whether courses equip graduates with the skills the industry demands. The trend is clear. Our young graduates face a tougher, more uncertain path, and we must work together to make things better for them. On the other hand, employers see the problem differently, but no less seriously. MNCs, SMEs, and local enterprises all share the same challenge. They cannot find enough Singaporeans to fill the roles. Hiring managers struggle to find the right candidates. And the data supports this. Unemployment remains below 2%, yet there are still more vacancies than job seekers. 1.64 jobs per unemployed person. The 2025 Manpower Group Employment Outlook Survey found that 43% of employers still intend to hire. On My Careers Future, more than 23,000 of the 68,000 listed jobs are for fresh graduates, executives, and senior executives in roles such as engineers, marketeers, data specialists, and operational planners. So we face a paradox. Graduates say they cannot find jobs, while businesses say they cannot find workers. The mismatch lies not in the numbers, but in alignment between skills taught and skills and experience demanded, and between expectation and realities. NTUC has framed this paradox through 4 gaps: the expectation gap, the skills gap, the opportunity gap, and the experience gap. I would like to add a 5th, the job redesign gap. On the expectation gap, technology has reshaped hiring. With one-click portals and AI-tailored CVs, job seekers can now apply for dozens, if not hundreds, of roles daily. Employers are swamped with CVs, making it unrealistic to expect replies to every applicant. Job seekers and their parents must adjust to this new reality. On the job redesign gap, with AI, sorry, that was an alarm gap, apologies. On the job redesign gap, with AI, businesses are struggling to define entry-level roles fast enough. Thus, once designed by fresh graduates, such as research, doing slides, doing minutes, are now automated. Companies need graduates who can apply AI, but within a business context. This requires rethinking roles so fresh graduates remain cost-effective contributors while still gaining the experience. So how do we bridge these gaps then? And I would like to offer 4 suggestions. Firstly, scale up the Graduate Industry Traineeship Program, GRID. Let me declare my interest as a WSG board member. GRID supports graduates from universities, polys, ITs, and private institutions, giving them industry-relevant skills. It provides an allowance up to 70% funded by WSG and 30% by host organizations. By October 2025, there will be 800 structured traineeships. The challenge is to scale it up. We need more businesses to come forward to invest in our graduates, to mentor them, to give them the business context and prepare them for future roles. Second, expand structured apprenticeships. Singapore had made progress with the AI apprenticeship program and the Oracle program, but we must extend this model to other sectors, such as manufacturing, healthcare, logistics, operations, and the green economy. Unlike short, unstructured internships, which has limited success, apprenticeships must provide both technical training, the business context, and workplace readiness. Thirdly, to strengthen collaboration between government, industries, and education institutions must align their efforts and set standards. Germany's dual education system is instructive, combining classroom learning with real workplace training, which produces industry-ready talent. By adapting some of the useful elements of such approach, Singapore can fill critical skills gap and uplift our vocational careers. Fourthly, about encouraging community initiatives. In Pasir Ris Changi, one of our volunteers, Arshad, together with Al Mawadah Mosque and M-Cube at Pasir Ris Changi, organized an overnight biking event, ending with professionals sharing their work experience with youths. Such grassroots efforts from peer support groups can link professional networks to the job seekers. Mr. Speaker, the anxieties of jobs, sorry, let me repeat that again. Mr. Speaker, the anxieties of job seekers are real, and the frustrations of businesses are real. But so too are the opportunities. If government, businesses, educators, unions, and the community stand together in a we first spirit, we can close the gap, redesign roles, and prepare our people for the future. Mr. Speaker, the cost of living has risen globally due to supply chain disruptions, conflicts, and tougher business conditions. In Singapore, pressures are compounded by our reliance on imports and tight labor market. While we can manage volatility, we remain a price taker. The sustainable path forward is for wages to rise faster than costs through productivity and through better jobs. Government support through CDC vouchers, USAVE, NZCC rebate, cash payouts, and Medisave top-ups has provided some cushioning for families. But the rising cost of doing business must not be overlooked. Small shops such as F&B outlets, retailers, mini-marts, lifestyle stores, gyms, and neighborhood shops are placemakers, the heartbeat of our communities. They greet us daily, serve our family for years, and give our area character. They make our communities vibrant and provide comfort in the familiarity of everyday life. Yet behind the counter, many face this deep anxiety. They pour their savings into renovations and equipment, only to find leases shorter than their recovery periods. For some, rent forms up to 20% of their costs. The looming fear of the next rent increase weighs heavily on their minds. Many cannot simply pass the cost to customers without losing them, nor can they sustain wages for their staff if margins collapse. This uncertainty forces them to worry about survival instead of focusing on growth. We must give these small businesses greater assurance, and I'd like to offer a few suggestions. First, we should build on the fair tenancy framework developed during COVID-19. It covers 11 areas of fair terms, but remains voluntary and does not address rent escalation. I'm not suggesting rent control in any way. Instead, let us provide incentives such as tax benefits or recognition for landlords who adopt these fair guidelines. Transparent rental benchmarks tied to indices like CPI plus margin for rent escalations can prevent unreasonable hikes while preserving fairness. Secondly, we can explore property tax rebates or co-funding schemes for landlords who maintain affordable rents, or offer support for landlords who help tenants go digital or improve productivity. Mr. Speaker, this is ultimately about trust and partnership. By embracing a we-first mindset, landlords, businesses, government can lower costs, reduce uncertainty, and give small shops some peace of mind. They may also encourage entrepreneurship and support the startup culture. When our small businesses worry less about survival, they can focus on what matters, improving their services, raising their productivity, and developing their staff. That is how we keep our communities vibrant, our livelihoods secured, and our society coming together. Mr. Speaker, growing our economy is not for the sake of growth alone. It is about securing good jobs for Singaporeans, ensuring rising incomes, and improving the quality of life for our people. In every strategy that we take, our end goal must always be clear: to create opportunities that uplift our workers, strengthen our families, and build a society where every Singaporean can look to the future with confidence. Mr. Speaker, while these fundamental shifts in the tide has stirred deep anxieties that we must address, we must also remember that change is not only about disruption. Change also brings renewal, new opportunities, new industries, and new ways of living. I'm encouraged that the government has formed the Special Economic Resilience Task Force to help us seize these opportunities and chart our path forward with unity and with purpose. In this spirit, I would like to offer a few suggestions on how we can turn this moment of change into one of renewal and growth. Firstly, on growth industries. Opportunities are opening in artificial intelligence, advanced manufacturing, biotech, clean energy, and sustainability. In EDB's report, it was stated that AI adoption could enhance productivity across all sectors, notably adding up to 27 billion to manufacturing alone. In its totality, AI is projected to unlock billions in productivity gains across sectors, while advanced manufacturing and robotics will drive high-value career in precision engineering. Biotech is transforming medicine, food, and material science, and clean energy from renewables to emerging technologies like small modular nuclear reactors will strengthen our energy security. Beyond these niche sectors, such as quantum technologies, space and satellite services, cybersecurity, and the blue economy, they all hold potential for new growth. These industries are not the ends in themselves. They are pathways to secure better jobs, higher incomes, and long-term competitiveness for our Singaporeans. Secondly, businesses need clear whole-of-government support to navigate uncertainty. We must refresh our industry transformation maps and align them with the job transformation maps, our CTCs, our national AI strategy, our CTO as a service, and all the other alphabet soups of support schemes that we have. Many businesses, especially SMEs, find the landscape a bit fragmented and a bit harder to navigate. A single agency or a unified user-oriented portal could help simplify the access, enabling firms to focus on transformation and focus on growth. By doing so, we strengthen our enterprises, preserve Singapore's position as a trusted global hub, and ensure that the opportunities created at the national level translate into tangible gains for workers and families. Thirdly, we must anchor Singapore's aspiration to remain a global aviation and aerospace hub. And here I'd like to declare my interest as one of the workers in the aerospace industry. Today, Singapore accounts for 10% of the world's global MRO output. Imagine that, our small red dot accounting to 10% of the world's global MRO output. And MRO is one of the key pillars of our Manufacturing 2030 vision, which seeks to grow manufacturing value add by 50% by 2030. To sustain this growth, we should review the master plan for the Northeast Singapore holistically, from the developments in Changi Terminal 5 to Changi Air Freight Centre to Changi East Urban District, Changi East Industrial Zone, Changi North Seletar Punggol Digital District, and the reconfiguration of the Loyang Industrial Estate. Together with the rethinking of the Pasir Ris Changi ecosystem, including preserving the rustic charm of Pulau Ubin, the mangroves, and both Pasir Ris and Changi Beach, this entire region on the northeast coast can be transformed into a world-class zone to live, to work, and to play sustainably, anchored by the future growth of industries and seamlessly connected by air through Changi Airport, by sea through Tanah Merah Ferry Terminal, and to the rest of Singapore via the Cross Island and the East-West MRT lines. And within less than 60 minutes of Pengerang, just 20 kilometers away, and Batam, the Northeast Singapore is also strategically positioned to complement Pengerang's oil and gas sector at the Pengerang Integrated Complex and Batam's manufacturing base, in addition to its central location and its global connectivity. Together with Johor Singapore SEZ, this ecosystem can secure good jobs for Singaporeans, boost supply chain resilience, and anchor Singapore firmly within the global economy. Mr. Speaker, hope must also mean inclusion. Growth cannot be just for some. It must be for all. An inclusive society is one where every Singaporean has a chance to contribute and, more importantly, flourish. Technology can and must be used for good. And there are ways to which we can use technology towards building a more inclusive society. Firstly, through supporting the less able. Assistive technologies such as screen readers, navigation apps, sensors provide independence. For example, AI-powered wayfinding tools integrated into MRT stations can help guide the visually impaired. One of my residents, he lost his sight and is in his 50s. One of my residents lost his sight in his 50s. He travels with his elderly mother in a wheelchair and his special needs sister, who's also in the 50s. Each contributes a different sense of touch, of mobility, of vision, and of knowledge as they navigate through the town. He was excited by the pilot of wayfinding tools such as City Genie to help his family move independently. More can be done for families like this. And with a we first mindset, agencies and partners can make inclusive innovation a reality. Secondly, through supporting caregivers. While grants like home caregiving grant help financially, technology can lighten the load. Smart elder care sensors, telehealth, AI-enabled scheduling, and robotic aids can reduce strain. Scaling this solution into community care networks while keeping them affordable gives caregivers a peace of mind and helps seniors live with dignity. We must find ways to adopt them quicker and scale faster to move beyond pilot trials. Mr. Speaker, inclusive innovation is not only about compassion. It is about bringing that opportunity. The assistive tech sector, CareTech, and the silver economy are fast-growing industries. By investing here, Singapore can export solutions and become a trusted hub for inclusive technology. We will build not only a competitive economy, but also a compassionate one, where every citizen feel they matter and belong. Mr. Speaker, in Malay, please. Dalam ucapan saya tadi, saya telah menyatakan penghargaan kepada Presiden kerana telah memberikan latar belakang yang jelas sempena pembukaan Parlimen ke-15. Presiden mengingatkan kita bahawa dunia yang kita hadapi kini penuh dengan pergolakan dan beliau menggambarkannya sebagai angin, bukan sebagai angin sementara, tetapi sebagai arus perubahan yang mendasar. Dalam keadaan sebegini, dua emosi utama membentuk tindak balas manusia. Pertama, kebimbangan, ketakutan terhadap ketidaktentuan. Dan kedua, harapan untuk pertumbuhan, untuk peluang dan masa depan yang lebih cerah. Dengan dua lensa inilah saya rangka ucapan saya pada hari ini. Tuan Speaker, di seluruh dunia kos sara hidup meningkat akibat gangguan rantaian bekalan, konflik dan juga kadar faedah global yang tinggi. Di Singapura, keadaan ini bertambah rumit kerana pergantungan kita kepada import dan pasaran buruh kita yang ketat. Realitinya, kita tetap price taker. Jalan keluar yang mampan ialah untuk memastikan gaji meningkat lebih cepat daripada kos melalui produktiviti yang lebih tinggi dan pekerjaan yang lebih baik. Oleh itu, peningkatan dan penguasaan kemahiran baru mestilah menjadi sebahagian daripada kehidupan kita. Dalam dialog bersama pemimpin Union Melayu seperti Encik Abdul Samad bin Abdul Wahab, mereka menekankan bagaimana Union membantu pekerja meningkatkan kemahiran melalui mengubah minda daripada hanya melindungi pekerjaan kepada melindungi si pekerja dengan menyediakan masa depan yang lebih baik. Saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih atas usaha mereka. Masyarakat kita juga harus memanfaatkan program nasional seperti Skills Future Credit, WSQ, Career Conversion, Career Transition dan Tech Accelerator Program. Seperti kata pepatah, bersusah-susah dahulu, bersenang-senang kemudian. Di Pasir Ris Changi, kami telah bekerjasama dengan NTUC untuk mendekatkan program-program ini kepada para penduduk. Walaupun arus perubahan membawa banyak kebimbangan, ia juga membawa banyak harapan. Industri baru sedang muncul seperti advanced manufacturing, robotics, precision engineering, biotech, quantum technology, satellite services dan banyak-banyak lagi. Semua ini adalah laluan baru kepada pekerja yang lebih baik dan berpendapatan yang lebih tinggi. Untuk merebut peluang ini, kita mesti terlebih dulu meningkatkan kesedaran kita. Hari ini terdapat 13 rangkaian profesional di Mendaki, seperti di dalam bidang kejuruteraan, teknologi, kelestarian dan kewangan. Melalui rangkaian ini, peluang dibuka untuk masyarakat kita. Malah baru minggu lalu, seorang penduduk berkongsi bahawa suaminya mendapat pekerjaan kejuruteraan melalui salah satu rangkaian ini. Saya amat menggalakkan lebih ramai daripada masyarakat kita untuk menyertainya. Selain itu, rangkaian profesional ini juga memberi kembali kepada masyarakat. Seminggu lepas di Pasir Ris Changi, rangkaian profesional kejuruteraan M Kuasa 3 bersama SUTD dan Mendaki menganjurkan Robot Wars, di mana para pelajar membina robot berasaskan AI belajar kod, menggunakan sensor dan pengenalan objek. Pelajar dari rumah kebajikan juga turut serta. Bagi sebahagian peserta, ini pengalaman pertama mereka dengan robotik. Sangat mengharukan melihat keyakinan mereka meningkat dan mata mereka bercahaya dengan kemahiran baru ini. Saya juga ingin mengucapkan tahniah kepada murid-murid daripada Madrasah Al-Junid dan anak-anak daripada Muhammadiyah Welfare Home yang memenangi tempat pertama dan kedua dalam pertandingan ini. Satu lagi sumber harapan ialah kemajuan untuk asatizah kita. Sejak 2023, gaji lebih 80% asatizah di masjid dan madrasah telah dinaikkan mengikut Common Salary Guidelines, dengan purata kenaikan antara 5 hingga 12%. Dengan pelaksanaan fasa ketiga tahun ini, lebih ramai akan berada dalam guideline CSG. Asatizah ialah tunggak masyarakat kita dan kerja mereka mesti diiktirafkan dan dibayar setimpal. Penubuhan Kolej Pengajian Islam Singapura adalah aspirasi lama masyarakat kita. Kolej ini akan melahirkan asatizah dan pemimpin masa depan, bukan sahaja untuk Singapura, tetapi juga untuk konteks global. Lokasinya yang bersebelahan dengan SUSS sangat bermakna. Ia membuka peluang silang institusi, menggabungkan pengajian Islam dengan bidang seperti kerja sosial, kewangan Islam, perniagaan dan kesihatan mental. Ini akan meluaskan wawasan dan pilihan kerjaya untuk asatizah kita. Juga penting, SCIS akan dibiayai oleh Wakaf Masyarakat Singapura. Salah satu lagi inisiatif masyarakat kita. Ini membuktikan kekuatan kita sebagai sebuah komuniti yang bersatu, sebuah we first society seperti yang disebutkan oleh Presiden. Tuan Speaker, walaupun kebimbangan wujud tentang kos sara hidup, pekerjaan dan ketidaktentuan ada juga. Let me repeat that again. Tuan Speaker, walaupun kebimbangan wujud tentang kos sara hidup, pekerjaan dan ketidaktentuan, ada juga banyak harapan. Dengan memanfaatkan program nasional, mengukuhkan rangkaian profesional, mengangkat martabat asatizah dan merealisasikan SCIS, kita boleh membina masa depan yang lebih cerah. Marilah kita berganding bahu untuk berfikir jauh ke hadapan, melabur dalam masyarakat kita dan membina laluan dengan penuh harapan. Inilah cara kita menukar kebimbangan kepada menjadi harapan dan memastikan masyarakat kita terus maju di tahun-tahun mendatang. Mr. Speaker, sir, the challenge before us are real. The anxieties of our people are real. The worries by our job seekers, the struggles of our families coping with costs, and the worries of small businesses are real. Yet so too are the opportunities in new industries, in new inclusive innovation, and in refreshed economic strategies that can bring about better jobs and better ways to care for our society. Let us therefore choose to be a we-first society, a society where success is not just measured by GDP, but by how much we care for one another, where growth is inclusive and opportunities are shared and no Singaporean is left behind, where quality of life improves not just for individuals, but for families and for communities, where government, businesses, union, workers and citizens work together in trust. This is how we can turn anxiety into hope, and this is how we can renew our social compact, and this is how we can build a stronger, more united Singapore together. Majulah Singapura. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move.